In this video, we're going to look at the lunge and how to make corrections to our lunge problems. What we're going to have to be able to do first is we're going to have to see what's wrong with our lunge. Now, if we had somebody around who would know what mistakes were, they could come around and help us and make those corrections for us. But we may not have somebody who knows what those corrections are. So what we're going to have to do is we're either going to have to use somebody's help to record us, or we're going to have to find a way to check ourselves. Now, there's places you can do this in your house. Maybe you have a mirror where you can see your whole body and move around in it. And if you don't have a mirror, well, then instead of using somebody else to video record, you might just set up your camera somewhere that you can see yourself. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is if you can make a short video, only about a minute long, showing some of your lunges. You're going to make some lunges from absolute stillness and from movement. I would like you first to make about 5 lunges, starting from being absolutely still and lunging and landing in your lunge and staying there for a second or two. After you make those 5 lunges, I want you to start moving around, advances, retreats, any footwork you think of, just easy, gentle footwork, not too hard, and you're going to be making lunges at any random time. Make a total of about 15 lunges while moving, so you have about 20 lunges total. If you make a lunge every couple steps, you'll have probably about a minute of video. Don't make any video longer than that. You won't want to watch yourself moving around. We're correcting lunges and not just your advances, retreats. That's for a later time. So once you have your video, what you're going to have to do is ask yourself, what can you fix? What is the biggest mistake that you see? Don't try to fix everything all at once. Just look for things that seem to be a problem, work on it, and when that improves, fix the next thing if there's something that you find. So if I'm looking at my own position, I'm going to kind of look at where my shoulders are. Is my back straight? Is my back leg straight? Where's my front knee position? Where are my arms? Where's my head? Look at all your basic body parts and see where they're supposed to be. If you notice that one part is not where it should be, think about where it should be in relation to that. And then you're going to ask yourself, what's the movement that would get my body from the wrong position to the right position? Most of the footwork movements that we had will correct something below the waist. But if you notice something that we didn't correct, like your arm position, then you want to ask yourself, where would you like your arms to be and how would you fix those? You probably could figure that out on your own. Also, one mistake, but it's easy to get into if you're not fencing, is looking at the ground. A lot of us do that when we're thinking about our own moves or we're practicing them and we're not practicing with a partner. We don't look at our partner, we look at the floor. Whenever you're looking for a mistake or something to correct in yourself, what you should be asking yourself is, how can I fix it? Can I just move to the correct position? And the movements that we practiced in the last video were actually ways to move our body so that we can be aware of what needs to be moved. We're going to do them here with the lunge. The pivot in place is done really just to check your balance. If you can do something on your opposite side, then it's probably true that you can do it on your regular side. If your knee position is wrong, you'll need to flex your knee. That will move your knee forward and back. If your back leg isn't straight, flexing your back knee is also what's going to help. If you can wiggle both knees, that shows kind of where your hips are at in balance, and that's how you're going to move where your hips are. Right now, when you're practicing your lunge, the ending of the lunge should be in balance with both feet completely on the ground. If you can raise your toes and raise your heels, that'll give you a sense of what it might feel like for them to be out of position. In reality, only your heel is really going to be off the ground if you make a mistake. It would be very rare to have your toe off the ground, either toe. It's probably going to be your heel if there is a mistake there. If you have something to measure your position of your front knee to your front heel, you can use that to kind of measure if you're in place, and you can use it to see if your back leg is straight. If your front knee is not facing forward, if it's twisted in, that's usually, it's not your knee that's really moving. What it is it's your hip. Your knee is connected back to your hip, and you're actually pulling your knee back with your hip. But just think about wiggling your knee side to side. Your front toes, if your front toes are twisted, that's going to be pivoting on the heel. If your back heel is not in line with your toes or your back heel. You just need to twist and pivot on your toe. Same would be true about your back heel. If your back heel or your back toe is not in the correct position, just do the correct pivot to put your foot back into alignment, proper alignment. If you lunge the wrong size or you're in an out of balance position, you can always use half advances and half retreats with either foot to adjust the correct distance between your feet. After you've tested your lunges and then made your corrections, you need to go back and practice and see if you can make a lunge without that same mistake. A general rule of thumb is that if you can make 20 in a row without a mistake, then that's a correction that's permanent. If you don't get 20 in a row, then just keep practicing. The more you do the movement and make those corrections, the sooner you'll get to making 20 in a row automatically without even thinking about it.
Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sort of good at something.